those other little places, those all came out of that. The British pound going into World War II was about $4.60, went down to about $4.05. At the end of the war, it was $2.60, $2.80, excuse me. The dollar was going to reign supreme. We had roughly half of the world's GDP, and we pretty much called the shots. By the way, the decision was made at that point to have a dollar which would not only hold value and was valued around the world, but was actually exchangeable for something. $35 per ounce of gold. Believe it or not, that was the number. $35. It was amazing. Some countries slightly higher than others. Now, again, if you're an ancient guy like me and you're an old spy, you believe in sort of spy porn called James Bond. Guys, remember Goldfinger? The movie Goldfinger? The movie Goldfinger was about gold arbitrage, which was being done during that period of time because you can move gold out of England at 35 bucks an ounce if you had the right to have it, and move it to Europe where it might be $42 an ounce, or into the Middle East, like India, for instance, or Pakistan, where it would be $300 an ounce. So there are ways of working around that system. And I might also add that my father and my uncle during World War II, or shortly afterwards, were living in Paris, and I wouldn't be surprised on the weekends, or at least stories were related to me, how they used to take suitcases worth of dollars and go to Switzerland and exchange them there for other things. So we grew up in sort of a stable time. The last 70 years of our existence has been based on Bretton Woods. The US dollar has been dominant during that period of time. I've been to 50 some odd countries in this world and nobody turns down a buck. Even the Russians in the bad old days when that currency wasn't quote unquote exchangeable wouldn't turn down a dollar because it was considered a value. Now, by 1971, we went off the gold standard. Why? Because there was a tremendous desire to have US dollar overseas, and those people in turn wanted to convert that. The French in the mid-1960s, for instance, came in and demanded a whole lot of gold. There was an attempt again in the early 1970s to demand a whole lot of our gold out of Fort Knox. Now, you don't physically ship it, by the way. You just sort of literally put the sticker from one side to another. But there's going to be a drain on our gold reserve. President Richard Nixon made the decision at the time that there would be no more drains on our gold reserve. So the United States dollar, since 1971, has been based on the full faith and credit of the United States. So it is not an exchangeable thing in terms of silver or gold. And for those of us who are old, you got these old silver certificates on the wall. There were dollar bills, et cetera, et cetera. That system lasted pretty much through the 1990s.